Greetings everyone. Today we are checking out Nickelodeon Universe, located inside the American Dream Mall here in New Jersey, just outside of New York City. You heard me right, this park is located inside of a shopping mall. Despite that fact, it actually has a couple of record-breaking coasters, as well as some theme going on, so it should be a pretty cool park. Let's check it out. The first coaster we see here when we enter the park is the Nickelodeon Slime Streak. It's a coaster built by Chance, and it's definitely a family-style coaster, nothing too intense, kind of meanders throughout one half of the park, so it definitely gives you good views. I will say, probably not the most comfortable seats for adults, but if you have a kid coming along your journey, you probably definitely want to check this coaster out. This spinning pendulum ride has a Ninja Turtles villain theme going on, and despite not being the largest of the pendulum rides, I will say these smaller ones here actually pack a bit of a punch, and they're pretty fun as long as you're okay with spinning. I gotta say, Dumbo has some competition for coolest animal with giant ears that flies when it comes to the blue Skadoo ride here. It's adorable. Skyline Scream here is a drop tower. It starts out with a nice launch. There it goes. I do believe this was built by S&S, which is a bit surprising considering how quiet it is. It's by no means silent, but that big rush of air you usually hear with other S&S towers, you don't really hear as much here. So good job to them with whatever muffler system they use. Now it's really cool because this drop tower literally goes, straight from the ground up to the ceiling, through the ceiling really, of the mall here, and then you're able to get a good view of New Jersey, Manhattan, and the surrounding area. So those are definitely the best parts. As far as drop towers go, it's, a mediocre ride. Definitely doesn't drop too fast, as you can see here. Now, if blasting through the roof is too intense for you, you can ride Space Madness instead, featuring Ren and Stimpy from the Ren and Stimpy show. This is definitely a much smaller spinning drop tower, and kids and adults alike can ride. The Shredder is the world's tallest and longest free spinning coaster. It's built by Jerslauer. I'm not the biggest fan of, Wild Mouse type spinning coasters, but this one's a lot of fun. And it really could be a different ride experience every time, depending, how much you're spinning and at what angle you are at for the drops. I want to stop here at the exit because it's the best view of the lift hill, and you may be wondering why is it good to see the lift hill, because this ain't any ordinary slow lift hill. Look at that thing go. Thing is a rocket up there. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not sure what the Loud House is, but they do have this Crazy Bus style ride. The Legends of the Hidden Temple Challenge is the world's tallest ropes course. And look at that, it is pretty tall. So it's good to note that this ropes course is a separate fee, even if you have the all-access pass here. I do want to take a moment just to talk about how you get on rides here. You essentially use points, and this bracelet here has points linked to it. So each ride costs points, or you can buy an all-access pass, but do your research before you do that, because unless you're trying to get on everything, it might be cheaper just to buy some points and get on what you really want to, because the all-access pass today was $69. It can go up to $79 or as low as $59, depending how busy it is. So do your research. Dust Off Bowl Reliable, it's time to go jellyfish hunting! That's right, SpongeBob Jellyfish Jam is everything you could imagine in a jellyfish hunt. You grab your net, and then you hop right on this swing ride here, under this giant jellyfish. So, awesome theme, that's the best part. Another SpongeBob themed ride here is the Bikini Bottom Crosstown Express. It's a rock and tug, where you go back and forth and spin around. Another good ride for the whole family. Boots Banana Swing is a little kid's swing ride. and it's definitely one for little kids. For all you Avatar fans, you're gonna love this ride. Aang's Air Gliders is a Zamperla air race style ride. You know, you rotate and do some flips. The 4-seating arrangement on this is pretty cool. That being said, my favorite part of this ride is right here. They have little momos at the top of each sweep. They get to fly and spin with you. That's not all though, they also have Appa here. Look at that. It's pretty awesome. While I normally recommend looking up, you might want to look down at the floor here every now and then because they do label some various entrances this way. And you want to make sure you go to the right one. For example, you don't want to end up in the quick pass entrance here when you should be elsewhere. Speaking of quick pass, you probably don't need to spend money on it. At least it hasn't been busy today. If you're looking for lockers, they do have some under Shellraiser. Over here, our pals, the Ninja Turtles, greet you in their really awesome subway bus machine at the entrance to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shellraiser. Michelangelo bringing up the rear on his skateboard. Let's go. Antonio's Pizzarama greets you to the entrance of this large staircase up to the platform. In line, they're letting in fresh air. Love it. Shellraiser is a Gerstlauer Eurofighter coaster. Not only is it the steepest coaster in the park, it's actually the steepest coaster in the world with a drop at 121.5 degrees or so. And there you go. There you see it dropping. We'll get a better angle of that in just a moment. But this course here really meanders around the back half of the park, and for being a few years old, it's still pretty smooth. It was a fun ride. I'm going to take you towards the start. So at the start of the ride here, I will say there is a spoiler alert coming up. I'll leave a note in the video about how far to skip ahead if you've never ridden this ride and don't want a spoiler. But anyway, as the car comes out of the station here, you just take a, casual left corner and you go right into this steep little drop, so it's a lot of fun. I enjoy a pre-lift drop, and then an inversion, and then you think, you're heading to the lift, right? But, oh heck no. Surprise, it's a launch. That's right, the start of the coaster is a launch into this huge Immelman. You actually don't even get to the lift of the ride until about halfway through, which was kind of a surprise to me. I was, expecting, like most Gerstlauer Eurofighters, you go right into the vertical lift towards the start. So it's a typical vertical lift, takes you up. Between this and Shredder, you get a ton of interaction between the supports of both coasters. It's a wild time. I bet this ride would look good at night because there is some lighting. You can see chases the cars and follows the coaster around, so that's really cool. So as you approach the top of the lift here, another ride that takes you through the ceiling basically. There's a nice window that looks right out into New York City, if I'm not mistaken. It looked like a city. We're going to call it Manhattan. It's in the area. But then, yeah, you go over and you get held by this drop here. Sorry, you get held by this brake here before the drop. Pardon me. So it's a pretty long hold, too. You get a good view. It's going to slowly build up anticipation before you head into that really steep drop. There they go. A nice fun drop. Yeah, I highly recommend Shellraiser. It's a fun, long, swooping Eurofighter. You really get to experience a lot of different maneuvers, and I think I mentioned already, it is pretty smooth, which is always nice for these style rides. So I hope it stays that way. Oh, by the way, it is over-the-shoulder style restraints on this one, which I'm surprised considering how new it is. You may wonder, with limited space in a mall, where do they keep extra cars for their coaster? Well, right underneath the station. It's a smart use of space. They've got a kids' play area. Something that probably be pretty cool to ride that unfortunately is closed today is Dora's Sky Railway. It's essentially this railway that goes all the way around, well, about halfway around the park, I should say. And it looks like it'd be a fun way to see the park, and who knows, maybe swipers out there. No swiping. This is the Reptar go-round. You can't tell me that's not one of the coolest carousels you've ever seen. We've got Reptar and Tommy and Chucky out front. There's Angelica to the left over here. Oh, look at this! Spike's pulling Grandpa Lou. These little characters are the best. Zuma's Zoomers is a nice little kid whip-style ride. The young ones love these. Now this might be the best ride name ever. Pup, Puffin' Away. And it's a small Ferris wheel type ride themed to Paw Patrol. You're gonna have to help me out here and let me know what the Jumpin' Genies ride is themed to. I can't say I know these characters, but it looks like a new ride is on its way. Is a Umbrella Jump Round, maybe? The park is not complete without some nice themed penny machines. Butterbean Sweet Spins, a little cupcake themed teacup ride. If you want to head up from down there, you can ride something like the Guppy Bubbler, which is fish themed. You know what I say, you're not a theme park without Dippin' Dots. They do have a little snack area with snacks and Dippin' Dots inside if you don't want to head out of the park into the mall to, you know, go through their large selection of food out there. Sandy's Blasting Bronco is another SpongeBob themed ride. It's actually the newest coaster at the park. It's an Intamin launched coaster. Hanging out above Sandy here we have Patrick Star. So the coaster's just getting back from its launch, you know, it went through the whole cycle of the roller coaster. You come back into the station here, which normally this is, you know, when they open the restraints and you can get off the ride. But not this coaster, hang on just 1 minute. Oh, look at it, there we go, so it's gonna rotate. It's gonna rotate, so what do we got out backwards, so, right? No, you're not gonna get off the ride just yet. You are going to launch backwards. Look at that. Wild. I gotta admit, I actually enjoyed the forward launch much more on this coaster. I found the backwards launch a little bit nauseating, but I guess that could have been the food court pizza too. Still a fun ride, albeit a bit rough. They also have some lighting on this coaster if you look closely. I bet this place looks pretty great at night. Sadly, I won't be here then. This here is a half-pipe coaster by Intamin. I'll let you debate if it's really a coaster or not in the comments. But the bigger problem with this ride is that it's themed to Timmy from the Fairly Odd Parents, which I love Timmy, great guy, but how, Nickelodeon, did you not theme this to Rocket Power? It's a half-pipe. Come on! Also an okay ride. It does what you see it doing. Goes back and forth and spins a little bit. Now this is something I did not expect to see here. They actually have live shows. This is a Christmas themed one. Let's watch real quick. They do actually have a couple of gift shops in here, believe it or not. Of course, as you would expect, they have everything you could imagine Nickelodeon, from plush to cups to shot glasses to balloons to, you know, sweatshirts and t-shirts, you know, from SpongeBob to Avatar, socks, anything you could think of. It's here all over the place. They've even got pin trading. Look at that. And in case the two shops that are already here weren't enough, don't worry. There's more shopping coming soon inside the park. So overall, Nickelodeon Universe is, you know, quite a cool park. Really, the fact that they packed so much into literally a shopping mall. Yes, it's a big mall, but still a shopping mall. This end was built with this park in mind, and you can tell that they fit so many rides into this small space. And not just, your normal carnival rides, everything has some sort of theme going, and that's probably my favorite part about this park is all the cute little figures and little themes they got going on. And there was, some of the nostalgia, just reliving some olden day Nickelodeon, from the Ninja Turtles and so on. It was really cool to see that. I would definitely recommend checking this place out if you're in the area, or even if it's an hour or two out of the way. It's worth it checking out. It's free to walk into the park, so really the coolest stuff is just what you can see by walking around. So if you're ever at the American Dream Mall in New Jersey, you have to at least walk in here. You don't even have to buy a ticket or anything to ride. Definitely check it out. Thank you so much for watching. If it gets a little toasty in the park, you can just walk right to the center of the mall where they have this ice rink. It's nice and cool even outside the rink here. I recommend that.